Episode 11, Remedial Battle Magic. The gang realizes that the beast is only going to continue being a bigger and bigger threat, so they try to come up with solutions to deal with him and keep their lives intact. They end up running a simulation to see if there are any peaceful ways to resolve the conflict with the beast, or maybe to try to avoid his ire. But after running multiple simulations of what-if events, and all of them but one leading to their deaths, they realize that avoiding the problem isn't going to solve anything. And the only time that the simulation didn't end in their demises is when they went to Fillory, when they went to go after him. And even that ending really wasn't conclusive of anything. It was sort of just like, we didn't die this time. The other danger about the beast is the fact that Plover has additional fingers. He is a mutant magician. Extra fingers opens a new door to additional spells, and made it possible for Plover to follow Martin into Fillory. Even though the beast wasn't mentioned in the Fillory books, they are trying to look to see if there are any clues on how to deal with the beast. If there are any things in Fillory, if there are any weapons powerful enough to deal with a god or, a mutant magician. What we do know from the books is that since Plover had additional fingers and was going to be able to follow Martin into Fillory, Martin started looking for a weapon that could, kill a god or a mutant magician. The other thing is that in order for the gang to face the beast, they need to re-up their own powers. They can't just go on with what they have. They probably need to acquire battle magic. But the only person that they know who has battle magic is Katie, and she's no longer at the school. Quentin tracks down Katie, who was at Julia's apartment. Julia isn't there because she's currently on a mission trying to track down gods, or any hints about their whereabouts. Quentin and Katie briefly talk about Julia and Penny, respectively. They both have an understanding about the important people in their lives. Quentin even goes to say that you don't stop giving a shit about somebody even after they fuck up. Katie tells Quentin that Julia is doing a lot of good right now, and Quentin tells Katie that Penny is fireproof. He's like a cockroach. And while what Katie said about Julia is true, Julia is doing pretty well right now. What Quentin said about Penny isn't true, because right now, Penny's actually not doing so well. The beast has started targeting travelers, as they are the only beings that were able to come in and out of Fillory of their own volition. He has been driving them insane by constantly talking in their heads. Joe, the traveler that Alice's mom knew, and Penny's mentor have already taken their own lives as a solution to stopping the voices. Penny gets offered an unapproved magical dampener that will basically act as a stopgate for any noises coming into his mind. It goes on the back of his neck and it sort of leaves him with a bleeding wound, but it stops the voices. Katie's advice about battle magic is first to have started learning it 10 years ago, but since they're unable to do that, her second advice is to have everybody bottle up their emotions while they learn it, as battle magic requires a clear mind to practice, learn, and then master. It is not without risk to bottle up their emotions, though. It is only really safe, relatively speaking, to bottle their emotions up for a maximum of 3 hours, at which point they have to re-swallow down their emotions, which unfortunately will affect them at a magnitude. Any of the issues you had before bottling your emotions will be multiplied exponentially, which, given the state of the group, isn't a great thing. But nonetheless, Penny, Quentin, Alice, Margot, and Elliot bottle their emotions and go about practicing battle magic. The funny thing is once Penny bottles his emotions, she's actually able to say a nice thing about Quentin, saying, "Oh, your sweater looks nice." They are able to practice unassisted for the full 3 hours. After the 3 hours of practice going well, they re-swallow down their emotions and they experience the rebound, and everybody ends up in a sort of crying mess. Due to the backlash, Penny and Alice decide that they are not willing to do this again. Quentin, Elliot, and Margot, on the other hand, decide it is worth it to learn battle magic. So while Penny and Alice are doing battle magic unassisted and don't have as much progress, they aren't going to have to deal with the rebounding again of the emotions. Unfortunately, this time, when the three of them are practicing, they end up going 30 minutes over the 3 hours, and I don't know if it's the 30 minutes more, but when their emotions come back, it seems to affect them worse. They all end up drunkenly comforting each other and lead to Elliot, Margot, and Quentin to hooking up. Alice finds them in a tangle of limbs in the morning. I mentioned it earlier, but Julia has been on a find any traces of the missing gods mission, and she's been going around New York City trying to find any magical beasts in the hopes that they know something about the missing gods. She is able to track down some magical creatures, but isn't able to necessarily get the information she needs. She ends up going back to her apartment, and in a dream state, she gets approached by the lady underground, who tells her to bring her servant 3 gifts in the hopes that she will grant her a petition.